Those that fall under the INFJ personality type are the most intriguing people. If you mistreat them or anybody else while they are around, you will feel the full impact of all these characteristics. We INFJs go through life's ups and downs just like everyone else. On the contrary, when an INFJ goes bad, they begin to exhibit characteristics more typical of sociopaths. Others never return. So let's explore the shadow side of INFJs in this video. Number 1. They never forget. Some of the best observers among the 16 MBTI types are INFJs. They remember the same level of detail about their friends' lives as they do their own. Their exceptional recall serves them well and against them at the same time. If you have mistreated someone, you can count on one of those two outcomes. Either they will forgive you and go on, or they will never forget it. Whether it was yesterday or 20 years ago, INFJs will never forget the pain you caused them. If you ever made a hurtful remark about an INFJ's appearance without being asked, for example, that person is likely to hold it against you for the rest of your life. If you cheat on an INFJ, you may forget about ever getting their undivided attention again. They'll carry the hurt, slights, and treachery with them forever. Number 2. Anxiety and stress. When an INFJ is under too much pressure, they can show their dark side by acting out in ways like anger, anxiety, perfectionism, or even depression. When an INFJ experiences stress for the first time, they act quite consistent with their personality type. They go off by themselves to try to tune into their intuition, and they retreat and isolate themselves. They are in a mental space where they are actively attempting to gain understanding, make predictions, or chart a future course. An INFJ can develop grip stress if it has to cope with stress consistently. As soon as the pressure of holding on to something becomes too great, individuals switch gears and begin acting in ways they never do under normal circumstances. They might try to forget about their problems by stuffing their faces with food, running about like a crazy person, or cleaning the house, drinking, or cranking up the stereo. INFJ's natural ability to tap into their intuition is temporarily hampered during times of high stress. Furthermore, they may become more impulsive and reactive, lashing out at others without thinking and expressing their opinions harshly. They often describe this as a terrifying and disorienting out-of-body experience. Number 3. They're vengeful. When an INFJ is joyful, they are happy the whole day through. If you deliberately insult or hurt them, though they will hold a grudge longer than anyone you ever know, INFJs aren't the type to merely harbor resentment. They allow their anger to build up to the point where they feel compelled to take action. And I bet you can guess what crosses their minds. Revenge, the romanticized notion of the ideal vengeance and sought to take justice into their own hands. Keeping a grudge is a coping mechanism they use when they don't want to appear weak. INFJs will likely spend many tearful, restless nights trying to make sense of their feelings. Number 4. Sensory overload. By and large, INFJs do best when they can in the world at a more manageable pace. Too much stimulation, such as bright lights, loud music, or large groups of people, can cause them to feel overwhelmed and angry. Excessive, jarring, and sometimes painful simulations from the world around them is a common experience. When an INFJ is overstimulated, they may experience a negative emotional reaction, such as wrath or worry. Number 5. Difficult to form attachments. Intuitive, feeling and thinking oriented people, INFJs, thrive when they find meaningful relationships with others. This need for companionship can be problematic, though as introverts who spend a lot of time with the same people can develop unhealthy attachments to them. It takes INFJs a while to build trusting relationships with others since they are still introverts at heart. When one of them leaves, they become distraught and overly possessive. People who have spent a great deal of themselves in another person often go insane when that person is no longer in their lives. For this reason, some INFJs are hesitant to end or even start a romantic relationship. When someone they are extremely attracted to departs, they become too dependent and eventually ruin themselves. They imitate destructive actions. When making decisions, INFJs rely on their gut. However, they can still choose to be inconsiderate and ignore it. These intuitions are highly empathic and often take on the traits of people around them. They may not even realize they are being mirrored until it is too late. The first step is to visualize oneself engaging in the undesirable habit, in this case, smoking. When an INFJ's buddies start smoking more often, they may not even realize when they too have picked up a pack. To some extent, this is INFJ's most concerning flaw. While there are exceptional INFJs who act with integrity, there are some who, in the name of friendship and relationships, might lose their bearings, pick up some undesirable habits, and even commit crimes. Number 7. They do not like feeling unappreciated, complex, and idealistic. INFJs are more interested in big picture ideas than they are in the finer points of daily life. They are often misunderstood and expected to conform to the norm because of their unusual personality. If an INFJ's ideas are consistently shot down, they may grow to believe they aren't good enough or too odd. The more they attempt to conform to society's standards, the more pressure and stress they put on themselves. Number 8. They are manipulators. Unquestionably, INFJs are on par with INTJs as the best manipulators. INFJs are adept at eliciting reactions from their friends by subtly alluding to trigger words. For example, an INFJ could utilize shopping-related themes to pry news out of a friend if they've noticed that their acquaintance gets enthusiastic when they talk about shopping. You can expect to be manipulated at least once by an INFJ friend. The simplest forms of manipulation include things like doing somebody a favor or buying them dinner. For an INFJ who is skilled at manipulating others' feelings, the sky is the limit. Number 9. They will abruptly end without any notice. Even the most empathetic among us can burn out from socializing. And for INFJs, the best way to refuel their emotional reserves is to stop talking to anyone for a while. One of our friends told us how difficult it is to interact with INFJ when they retreat into their shells. By abruptly halting and pausing conversations without giving any advance notice, these idealists operate in a selfish manner, as most other personality types would concur. But in defense of any INFJ acquaintance, all they really need is a few days of no talking, of no contact. They claim that they need time to themselves before they can resume their role as a group therapist and emotional lifeline. Number 10. They're extremely and brutally honest. For INFJs, the truth hurts is a guiding principle. They are willing to endure the discomfort of offering constructive criticism to their friends rather than watch their pals go through emotional anguish as a result of ignoring their defects. However, INFJs often use their frankness as a justification to treat others harshly. When confronted, INFJs could defend their harsh words by arguing that they were merely reflecting reality. This shadowy side only appears seldom, but when it does, it leaves an indelible impression on those who experience it. In conclusion, friendships with an INFJ can be quite mean because of their sensitivity and compassion. 9 times out of 10, you can count on them to be there for you when you need someone to listen. When INFJs occasionally give in to their shadow side, the results can be disastrous. Some of the worst people we've ever met have been perceptive empaths. But it only happens when their emotions get the best of them. They care deeply about making the world a better place, and are always willing to lend a hand to those in need. That was all for today. If you think you know of more dark sides to INFJ, let us know in the comment section below. If you think you know of dark INFJ, then tag them into the conversation. See you next time.